Hey everybody, this is Herschel Fruin from High School Top 200, number 18 in the national rankings for 2018 as Wesley College. Now, I just seen Wesley College a couple of days ago play against St. Peter's, and that St. Peter's team was a team that took St. Kennigan's all the way to the end of the game for St. Kennigan's to score a try and win within the last 2 minutes. Wesley beat St. Peter's, and I still haven't had St. Peter's on my rankings yet because they're coming up. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, well, they beat them in preseason. How are they ranked lower? Now, I think, obviously, that's a valid understanding and question for me, but I feel like Wesley, that St. Peter's, I think St. Peter's had a really bad game. I wasn't a fan of the ref. I actually lost count of the penalties. But that's not the excuse. Wesley was better on the day. I think St. Peter's is better overall. Wesley, even watching them, I was... I think their players win because of how hard they fight in the game, and how dedicated they are to sort of making the plays and getting stuff right for their team. Ofa Simeona, who's their captain, captain at number 8, he went off because he got injured. I think he's going to be all right. To me, I think he would actually make a better prop, and I think in rep teams he would probably be a prop. Him and Irirangi are probably the ideal front row with Tane Beach as well in that front row. Maybe they're just using him there, and I don't know this, but maybe they're just using him there as a that's our only option kind of thing. But I feel like when I was watching him, I was thinking, freak, this guy's he would be a mean prop. Mobile, fast, strong, aggressive, knows how to assert himself into the game, knows how to draw players in, staying on his feet when he's being tackled, not going to ground so early, things like that. And then he's always got his sort of eyes open, looking around for that offload and things like that. And so, like, he was another guy that I sort of noticed, and I thought, well, maybe if they had that kind of option, maybe that would have been better. I don't know, but that was just kind of something that I was thinking of. And because Irirangi's been in there for a while, Tane's been in there for a couple of years now as well, and to have those three in the front row, I think will make a massive experienced front row with a lot of strength and a lot of leadership just in that. I mean, if you watch Irirangi and how much work he gets throughout the game, it's kind of a lot. Even Tane on defense, he tackles a lot, and he tackles all game. And so, like, that was kind of one thing that I was looking at, is sort of the different dynamics of how this team would be. Dennis wasn't there. But I know that he would be a pretty good option in the 8 as well. Byron is, I heard, injured, I think. But he was probably a guy that I really liked last year as a year 11. And, yeah, so wondering where he is. But Thor, so Keenan Rush was playing at blind, and he was their main jumper. Keenan Rush was everywhere around the park. Against St. Peter's. He had a massive game, and the responsibility he took on was massive too. And it was cool watching him play because he was so vocal. He was so onto it, where he knew exactly what the game needed and where his team fitted into that, and then he kind of, it's almost like he adjusted to the way that he was playing so that he could get, you know, his team sort of back into it when they were down in the game. And that was from disrupting lineouts, that was from making tackles off the scrum, that was from running the ball, being that supportive player. So Keenan rushed it a lot. Thor Manasseh was the other one as well, who played at open side. Maybe shouldn't be an open side. Maybe he should be a number 8. Just thinking about it now. But even he as well was just getting into heaps of the hard stuff, and all the rough and dirty kind of work as well. And I know that he's got a running game, but that kind of wasn't his role in the St. Peter's game. And so for what he did and what he did within his role, I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And obviously it came out right for them because they won the game. Pitelo and Tai were in the locks, and they are big guys, and I think they're also really good options at line out time, and they're not just running locks, which is the other thing. Is like they're not just running locks; they are actually really good options within the line out. I just think the way that you work your moves and things like that too is going to depend on how they're used within the lineouts, instead of just a running lock that is just a big fast guy that's, you know, mobile. Like if it's trouble like getting them up in the air, just, you know, props, go to the gym, get them up there. You just have to do it. Blue Tutuila and also Lorenz Tupaya were actually really good against St. Peter's. Blue just got that ball out real quick. There was no mucking around. And I think that was the biggest difference, was that there was no mucking around on the Wesley side, just getting the ball out and just letting it go. Whereas on the other side, they were just holding it up too much for some reason. The halfback in the first 5 were just holding it up. Where Blue and Lorenz were just making all these decisions, like one after the other, one after the other. And they were just getting it out there, you know, like... and it worked, because when you saw Lorenz and sort of the way that he played once he got the ball out there, he got the ball out there and then put himself right in position to get the ball back and got 2 other guys to join up with him. John was the other one that I thought had a pretty good game too. And I thought maybe he should have had maybe a bit more crash ball, where he sort of facilitated rather than crash ball. But Semisa Saukuru, he was really good, and he was a center, and it wasn't just his running. He also got over the ball a few times and got turnovers like that. And so like this team is going to be really interesting, and this is like something that's hard when you kind of evaluate teams and evaluate talent. I think that Wesley are going to lose some games that they shouldn't lose. And it's happened a few years. Like, I know that all you guys Wesley supporters right now that are listening are going to say that's ridiculous, until you go back and look at the other, like, if you look back in the last 5 years, right, or 5-6 years, and you look at their schedule, there are games in those schedules where they have lost those games, and you think to yourself, how did we lose those games? And why did we lose those games to those teams? And it's just something about Wesley sometimes where they give away games that they shouldn't have. And it even happened to me when I was at school as well in 2001, and Wesley was the best team in the country, and we almost beat them. And they were playing men's teams, and they were killing men's teams. Killing men's teams so much that that under 19s, under 21s, I think it was under 21s then, they didn't even want to play Wesley because Wesley were killing everyone. And then they played Church College, and we almost beat them. Now, Wesley's always going to be that team, I think, where it's maybe a comfortability, like where they just get way too comfortable with the fact that they are winning and that they're dominating, that they ease off. And then getting themselves back into it takes a week or two. Now, they're going to be in the CNI competition. They're going to have to, I think they travel, I should have brought up their schedule. If they have to travel to Masterton, or they have to make 2 big trips, like if they have to go to Hastings or Masterton, 2 times in a row, or Wanganui to, Hastings or something like that, how are the boys going to deal with the travel tiredness, being complacent, stuff like that, especially if they get a good run of 4 wins in a row, and then they think, oh, we're just going to go to this easy school and win, and then it ends up being a lot harder than they thought. Like that kind of thing. I feel like that's where Wesley will let up on a game that they really shouldn't lose. Now, I hope that doesn't happen, because I don't want teams to lose. Obviously, I don't. But that just seems to be the nature of it. And all you guys that are Wesley fans and supporters that don't agree with me, just have a look at their schedule. Have a look at their rosters, if you guys can, over the last 5 years. And I bet you'll pick out 2 games. And I mean, even when Rewa was beating Wesley for the county's title, even in those games, Wesley still had a stronger team, but ended up losing. Now that's where my thing comes from, and where I think that this could actually happen this year. I don't know what games they are, but I feel like within your guys' team, if you guys are listening to this, if you feel that comfortability coming into you guys because you guys are winning, the older players, and this is where the older boys come into it, where you guys have to snap back and say, oi, we all gotta come back down to earth and take care of these guys on Saturday. We can't overlook them. We can't be that team that just says, we'll just go there, get off the bus and do what we do, and then we'll get back on the bus and come home and it'll be all good. We just get 3 W's. It's like, it's not the same. So, whatever that game is, and I hope it doesn't, I hope it doesn't happen, but whatever that game is, or whenever they get that feeling, I hope they take care of it, because that's going to be, something on their record that they probably won't want to be there, and they probably don't deserve to have on there. Have a look out for Wesley. They're going to be a strong team, as they always are. They've got really good, interesting talents in that team, and it's going to be a good year. They're going to be one of the best in the CNI. The CNI is going to be full of talent, full of good teams, and Wesley's going to be one of them. That's my review for Wesley College. Peace.